Hi everyone, it's Chris from Stamp Blessings, and I'm here today for my very first Wednesday workshop. And I don't know about you, I never set New Year's resolutions, but this time I am trying to set a New Year's resolution where I'll be offering you a card kit every month, where if you place a $50 order on my website, you'll get a free card kit. And I do want to keep coming to you live every Wednesday, so look for me here at 1 o'clock Wednesdays for my Wednesday workshop, or you can find me on YouTube because I'll go ahead and download this. But you'll find links below and anything you need to know. So go ahead and leave me comments. I'll get back and answer any questions that you have. So Stamping Up has its annual celebration going on, and one of the free stamp sets that you can get are the really cute Seagulls. So I decided that was going to be the set that I was going to work with. These friendly seagulls are adorable, and I love going to Ocean City with my family. We make at least once a year a trip out there, and I don't know, I'm one of those crazy people that feeds the seagulls. So you probably don't like seeing me on the beach. The other stamps that I'm going to be using is saying hey. I really love this big hey, and I thought that would pair well with the seagulls. So if you don't know, Stamping Up did just release a new mini catalog, and it's good for January to April. And I also encourage you to go online because there are so many online exclusives. Like for instance, in here is a just like ephemera pack right here. But did you know that online they have these beautiful tulips and sunflowers, or I guess they're like a daisy or a yeah, they're the daisies, but they can also be yellow. A purple coneflower, that's what I wanted to say. But it's a full-size set, and it's online only with matching dies, so you're really missing out if you don't check out online. So when you place an order of $50 or more on my website, I'm going to send you a card kit to make all 4 of these cards, and that'll include the paper and the die cuts. Now, with Stamping Up, I'm not allowed to stamp these images for you. So let's say you didn't get this friendly seagulls. That's okay, because you can change out a different image, and I think it'll work really well. But for today, I'm going to show you how to make these, and you'll also get an email link for the directions. So I think it'll be really helpful. Now, I did a nice job on my directions, but then when I went to print them up, I was like, whoa, these are enormous. So I'm going to still work on that, but I am ready to mail these out to you. But let's go ahead and see how we go ahead and make this first card. So when I send my card kits, I have everything pre-cut, and you just kind of pull out the envelope and you'll get a card base that you can just go ahead and fold and score. So you'll get the card front, and you can just go ahead, take your bone folder, and it's so simple like that. So that's everything you need to make a card. Now you'll get this piece of paper. It's Country Woods, and it's cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is also Country Woods, and it's 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. And then you'll also get a little strip, and this is from the Country Lace and the Perennial Postage. I finally got this die cut, and I love it. So this one is, the size is, let's see, it's 2 1/4 by 1 1/2. So you get 3 of those. So let's go ahead and ink up our seagulls. And for my card, I used 1 of each because they are so cute. So I'm going to use black Memento. It's just a nice, good, crisp black ink. And it doesn't matter what order you go in, but I like that he is facing this way, so I decided to go ahead and start with him here. Okay. And then And of course, the little guy with the French fries, he's going to be in the middle because everybody wants those French fries. So I'll put him in the middle. And then on the last is the seagull that's looking like, hey, where did that go? All right. So all three of these seagulls do come in the stamp set. And then they've got some other fun things like the birds and all of that. So I'm going to just ink up the birds randomly real quick. And again, if you didn't get this stamp set, that's okay, because I'm sure you have some images that would fit in there perfectly. And then I want to stamp the little bits of sand. And I'm just going to really quick go over that. I don't want to make you wait too long. So I won't do a lot of coloring, but I'm going to just show you something, a technique real quick. All right. I went ahead and used the Stampin' Write markers. And so for the beaks, I decided to go with Pumpkin Pie and Daffodil Delight. So for the beaks and the little feet, I just went ahead and put down a little bit of the pumpkin. Just kind of scratch, and then I come in over that with the daffodil and just kind of blend it out. And as you pull it out, it really spreads out nicely. So there we go. So that was nice for that. And then for the seagull itself, I am using the Stampin' Write marker called Smoky Slate. But this is still a little bit dark. It's darker than I wanted. So what I'm going to show you is I just scratch on a block, and then I can take a blender pen and pick it up, and then just add some color just really, really quickly to a couple different spots, you know, and there we go. And I know this looks a little bit messy right now, but as you just work it just a little bit, it kind of softens as you go. So, but you could use whatever method you like for coloring. All right, so then the next step is just really assembling. And I brought up some glue. I'm just going to show you how I do this first card. Well, go ahead, and I find glue is quick, and especially for a video where you don't really want to be watching me forever. Taping, taping, taping. And I don't know if I'll assemble all of them. Then this one here goes to the very end. So I've got that. Not quite centered. I like it a little bit off, especially because the postage is going to be in there. So I'm going to put this down. So it's probably about 1/3, 2/3 there. I have this little accent strip here. This was 1.5 inches by 5.5 to go the full length. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my little seagulls down. And I can see that kind of moved. So let's see if I can still get it up. Aha. So the glue allowed me to do that, and I can just smooth it right back out. When you work on camera, you're working a little bit at an angle. So I appreciate you joining me today, whether you're watching live or on the replay. It's always fun to do these. I'm trying to figure out, you know, how much coloring you want to see. Like, do I take the time to color all the seagulls, or do you want it just a quick tutorial on, hey, what works best? So if you don't mind dropping a comment, then I can go back later and see what you think. What do you prefer? Now, the last step on this is this little scratch of paper that I have. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment, hey, hey friend. And I'm doing it in that smoky slate. And then I have my new Stampin' Up! Scissors that I'm really pleased with how great they cut. I could even do some nice fussy cutting. And I went ahead and I just kind of angled that sentiment. And another new favorite of mine is dimensionals. If you've been coming to my house or know me well, I am not a pop it up kind of a person, but these dimensionals have pretty much won me over. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull that off. This morning I went to the dermatologist, so I had been wanting to try and somehow work my face into these videos, but they did a little biopsy on a spot under my nose. So honestly, it's probably a good thing that I have not figured out yet how to get everything turned on. And I'm gonna just go ahead and finish this little guy, because that way you get the main effects. And this is where I should have colored them ahead of time instead of already having it assembled. So again, I'm just gonna pull out that color. And it's so cute. These guys are so cute. I really like them. If you want to let me know what was your favorite item in the Stampin' Up! Celebration catalog. And by the way, if you're waiting for your catalogs, I am mailing them today. So my order came in last night, and I'm going to be mailing them today. So there you go. Look at how cute that is. And it says, "Hey friend," and you could just finish it off with a sentiment in the inside. But there you go. That is one complete card, and look how fast and easy that was. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the next card. This again is a "Hey friend." I used the whole sentiment, but on this one I want to just show you a little trick that I did for that fan, or that little flap. So I turn my paper over, and it's just a little bit longer than 1 1/4, and I'm going to mark it with a pencil or a pen in the center of it. And so I want to cut my banner flag just to that mark. So I line it up on the corner and I snip right to that center. Then I turn it the other way and come right to that little dot there. You can just pull off that piece. So now I have a pretty good banner. I can go ahead and just kind of straighten that edge out. Sometimes they do, once you turn it over to the lighter side, you can see, oh, okay, it's a little bit wonky. And then of course I'm holding this a little bit funny on camera, but anyway, I found that that got me pretty good there. So with this paper, there's 2 sides that are so pretty, so you have to decide which side are you going to put it on. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp my 2 seagulls. Now in this one, I went ahead and I fussy cut them and then just glued them on because I wanted him to be without his legs. But why don't I go ahead and stamp this guy, and then I will show you with the miracles of taping that I already have one guy fussy cut. You call him a guy, but I don't know. Is a seagull a guy or a girl? I guess they can be, I mean, you can't tell from what you look at, so you can call them anything. All right, I'm going to get the "Hey friend" on there right away. And then I'll go ahead and put some sand on the bottom, because then I can just stack that around. Oops. I thought I meant to use the gray color, the chrome, but that's okay. All right. And so now I have 1 seagull fussy cut. And just a tip is to use a dark marker like the basic gray. And after you fussy cut them, just take it and run that edge of the paper around, or run the marker around the edge of the paper, and that just leaves it finished, and I really like the effect. So now I just have to color the other guy, and we are done. That's how fast this card came together. And as I go over it, it really does pull out that color, even though this is not watercolor paper, but it still does a nice job. Take my blender pen and add a little bit color to his wings. I want to give it a little bit here on the chest. All right, so here I could pop up the seagull. Let's go ahead and do that for a different kind of a look. These things have a way of appearing all over the house. Have you noticed that too? It's like, I thought I got them all up. All right, there we go. And now I'm ready to assemble this card. That is how fast it came together. So when you get these card kits, the paper is cut for you, and all you have to do is maybe a little snipping like I showed you there. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the measurements. This was 4 and 5 and 1/4. And then this country lace piece here is 4 1/4 by 4 1/8. So, and I wanted it just to go a little bit longer so that it had some interest. So this actually goes to the end of the card, but you see a little peak coming through. And that is card number 2. So let's just keep working through this pile. The next one, ooh, and I forgot to mention that on this card here, the dies that I used for this card and this next card are Stampin' Up's Spotlight on Nature dies. So these are circle dies, and they layer nicely, and you get 2 sets. So I really love the variety and the possibilities for this. So if you're looking for some unique circle dies, be sure to check out the Spotlight on Nature dies. All right, and I'll have 4 circles pre-cut for you. So when you spend $50 on my website, I will send this. And also, I forgot to mention, I have loyalty rewards, and every time you end up spending $250, you add up your orders over the year, and then you can pick out a stamp set for $25. So, all right, now back to this. This piece here is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I cut a piece of also, this is the Country Woods. This measures 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. And then I have a solid piece of cardstock, and that is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And again, once you get this order, you'll have those measurements in. Now for this seagull, since I have 3, I just had to pick which one I wanted to have doubles of. And I do really like the seagull that is looking over his shoulder. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. Now let's just stamp it twice. Okay. Get a little bit of his legs in there. All right. And then the next one, I get one of the screeching seagulls. And I really want his mouth to show, so he's a little bit offset. And then the last one is our French fry friend. And if you didn't like him so much, you could just leave this one off and have, you know, whatever variation you want of seagulls. That's up to you. All right. And done. So I'm just going to continue to quickly color with my blender pen. And I love that I can just give it a little bit hint of color without having to spend a lot of time on it. Give a little swipe on those wings. And then sometimes I kind of like to do the breast of the seagull, or maybe from his head down. All right, or you could do more here on the wings there. All right. It's funny, again, you can really get hyper-focused on coloring it precisely, but a lot of times I find that, oh, I'm stressed out about how I colored it, and then all of a sudden when I put the card together, it really doesn't look bad at all. So sometimes we're harder on each other, on ourselves, than we need to be. So I'm just going to color in the beaks. On this one, I pretty much cut off the feet, so I don't have to worry about it too much. So this is the third card in the kit. And I, again, hope to be offering this every month, where when you spend $50 on my website, you'll get a card kit. And you'll get the papers pre-cut and the directions. That's all I had to do, but this is where I want to really bring in that other hay that I love. So this is a quick, and gosh, this side is so pretty too. You know what, I'm going to use this side this time, and let's compare which one we like better. So I'm going to just put some glue on quickly. And these are a tight fit, so you'll want to lay it out and then really take your time and glue. And I find here the glue is good because, like you saw me before, it allowed me to move it for just a minute yet. So look at that. Yep, I can get that one in. But I like glue because it's just so fast and quick. Now I'm noticing as I'm putting this together, I did not take the time to pop out all these little guys. So I'm going to do that later off camera. And I can do that because I'm just gluing in the center, so I have a little flex there. And sometimes it's fun to leave them in, but in this case, when they're half out, half in, it just would look better with them out. So this is a good lesson learned. Be ready for the camera. All right. So now we get those. I'm going to glue him there, and I'm going to stamp my big hay from the Saying Hay stamp set. And I'm going to use the black ink. This is a good one if you have a stamping stamparatus or whatever. If you don't have a really good juicy ink pad, you'll want that, because this is such a great hay, but it's a little bit larger. So if you don't have it inked up right, it's going to look eh. One tip I do have is when you ink it up, hold it down on the paper for just, you know, a couple of seconds, close to a minute, like I am just doing right now, and you end up with a much nicer release there. So we're done with that hay, and this is our third card. Are you ready for our final card? And that will be this, I Love You More. And actually it says, what does it say? It says, I love you more than, but when I inked up the sentiment and embossed it off camera, I just kind of made sure that I left the ink off of that last part. And if you had a little tissue, you could wipe it off or whatever. But so when I inked it up, I just made sure that I, you know, kept that part off. So the measurements on this card are, get my cheat sheet. This Country Woods is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then I have some Night of Navy, that's 3/4 by 5 1/2, and some Country Lace, which is 1 3/4 by 5 1/2. And for this one, I just took it and did a little bit tearing. And so when I tear, I kind of pinch and pull, and I keep moving my hand down as I go. This is one of the skills we would teach our kindergartners early on, and it's kind of hard to do at first, but I like the effect of this paper and that you get that white kind of edge. All right. So with this, you would want to go ahead and stamp your seagulls. And again, you could just pick which ones you wanted. And I took 2 of the side looking ones. And 1 of the screecher. Okay. And so with the magic of video, I have gone ahead and fussy cut them, so we are ready. So for this last card, we're going to assemble. And again, remember that you get the card base, so you just get it and you have to score it, and all the fixings are in each envelope, so it's ready to go. I will not have stamped or embossed here, but you can change this up then for whatever card that you want to make it. But if you do the Seagulls, I'd love to see you post them. So I'm going to go ahead and layer it. And then these fun little guys, because they're fussy cut, you can kind of layer them on top of each other. And this last guy, I popped up on Pop Dots. Just put a couple on the back. I don't know about you, but I save the edges here, and then I just take my scissors and snip it when I need little smaller pieces. So if that's a tip that will help you, I hope so. And so like for the head, I could just put that on. Well, I appreciate you joining me for my workshop Wednesday. We just made 4 cards really quick. When you purchase on my website, you'll go ahead and get the card kit. And this is something that I plan to do every month. But in between, I'll be just coming online to show you how I made one of my cards, because sometimes it's just fun to get together and stamp with friends. Well, if you need anything, find me at chrisfranco.stampinup.net. You can find me on Facebook at Stamp Blessings. My blog is Stamp Blessings. I'm on Instagram and YouTube, so I'll see you there. Take care.